Dear students, today we are going to discuss the next part of our poem, Once Upon a Time. We discussed previously that it is a harsh and severe criticism on the modern man and on his ways, and we should say that conventions, and we should say that attitude, and also hypocritical way of living. So he is talking about, he's criticizing them, and he is also advising his son too at the same time, so that he might not learn all these things. And he wants to tell about his uh, age. He wants to tell about his past when he was a young boy like his son, and he used to smile with true feeling. He used to hug people with true love, and he used to meet people with true emotions, sentiments are like this thing. So these things are not present here, and we should also know that this is a subjective poem. The poet is just expressing his views, opinions on this poem. But now we are going to start. Before the second last stanza, we also discussed that the poet is just telling about some ironic statements, ironic sayings. Whenever somebody meets other and he says that it was nice to meet him, it means that it was not nice at all. And if somebody wants to say that goodbye, it doesn't mean that he actually wants to say goodbye. Rather, he wants to say that he wanted to get a good, we should say that getting rid of that person, unlike this thing. So these things are common in our modern society, our materialistic approach and our hypocritical attitude, archetypal manners are convention, that they are considered very formal manners of today. So in the second last stanza, if we are going towards that, but believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be. Now the poet is in a way lamenting the way that he had adapted himself, the ways, manners of modern age. He's saying that he is making his son assure that he didn't like these manners, etiquettes, these formal ways and hypocritical manners. I want to be what I used to be. Once again, he's just, we should say that, regretting at what he had acquired. And now he wanted to get rid of that things, and he wanted to be like the days when he was very young. And when I was like you, I want to unlearn all these muting things. Once again, he's saying that he wants to learn the things that he has adopted right now in this modern age, and he wants to, we should say that, unlearn the things that are unexpressive, that are, we should say that, unspoken, the things that are not actually presenting, that are not actually present inward a human body, inward a human personality. So he's saying that most of all, I want to relearn. Now he's talking towards the things that were in the past. He wants to relearn all these things. He wants to unlearn the present things that are present here in modern age, and he doesn't like them, but he has actually adopted those things according to the needs and, we should say that, circumstances of modern age. But now doesn't he doesn't like those things actually, and he wants to relearn the things that were present in the past. Now, how to laugh, and what were those things? How to laugh with true feeling, how to laugh in the mirror, shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. But when he is going to laugh in according to the modern age, according to the manners, etiquettes of modern times, that is just like laughing in the mirror, and that his teeth look like a snake's bare fangs. Fangs mean poisonous teeth of, we should say that, snake, and bare mean only hollow. So he is saying that he doesn't like those smile, he doesn't like those laughter that are just showing poisonous fangs. Why is he saying poisonous fang, या वो जहरीले दांत का लफ्ज क्यों इस्तेमाल कर रहा है? तो इसलिए इस्तेमाल करें कि these are hypocritical, we should say that this manner, this laugh, these laughters, they show just, we should say, hypocritical way, hypocrisy, and they're not actually original way of laughing. And they can deceive others, and the other people who are just present before you, they might be deceived because of your laughter, but actually you are not showing laughter. That is not a real laughter. So he might be deceived, he might consider something that is not actually present, that is not existing in some person. So they might be dangerous, they might be, we should say that, deceptive, we should say that, and they cause differences in appearance and reality. So they can be poisonous, they can be dangerous. Poisonous means they can be dangerous, like a snake's fangs are poisonous teeth. So show me son, he's once again saying, so show me son, he is asking his son, who is very innocent and who is just having real happiness, who is having true feeling, true emotions, and he is not, we should say that, adapted still to the modern attitude, modern behavior, modern manners, ways, how to love. He is asking his son how to love. He wants to learn things from his son, who is quite innocent, and he's asking his son that he might teach him how to laugh. He might teach him how he used to laugh and smile. And once upon a time when I was like you, once again he is repeating these words. These are repeating lines he has used. Once again, these lines are just to put emphasis, to stress on and the poem's central idea. So the theme is once upon a time. Once upon a time actually goes towards his past, and he thinks about that, the times when there was some originality, when there was some genuine feeling, when there was some genuine and true emotions, sentiments, and people used to keep social, we should say that, relation, connection in a real way. But nowadays in modern age, they are not having these things. Rather they are just showing formality, rather they are just showing the things that are not in real existing. So these are the ways that a modern men have adopted. Right now we should go towards stanza by stanza. We should just have an overview of all that, as that is written here, just explanation. Once upon a time, some they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes, but now they only laugh with their teeth, while their eyes block cold eyes search behind my shadow. So the poet once again is talking about his past, and then he is talking about his present, and he is just presenting a very, we should say that, sharp contrast between the past and the present. When in the people in the past were quite, we should say that, true. They were quite affectionate. They were having some true feeling, and but now in the present they are just ice block cold eyes. Mean they are very cruel. They are very cruel in the sense that they don't have any feeling of friendship or feeling of sympathy for others. Rather they are just showing some formality according to the, and they search behind my shadow. Mean they are just looking behind the poet. They are searching for something that might be true, but there is no truth, there is no true feelings that are present, right? And so this stanza can be explained in the lines that you are just looking at. The poet in this poem differentiates the present way of living from that of the past. He addresses his son to express his ideas. He thinks that people in the past were very expressive. Expressive mean they were true in expression of their feeling. Whatever they possessed inside, inwardly, they used to express that. So it was expressive and full of emotions and sentiments, and they were folksy. Folksy mean uh, they were the people who just like people's company, and who were just like folks, other folks, and friendly to one another. Whenever they laugh, their faces and eyes also were embodiment of the laughter. Embodiment mean, we should say that, embodiment, full of laughter. Still people laugh, but their laughter is aware of real happiness and pleasure. It seems that they are just laughing for the sake showing happiness. Their teeth show laughter, but the real joy is no more with them. That's very important point here. Their teeth show laughter, but the real joy is no more with them. That is according to the view of the poet. And somebody is when somebody is saying that when somebody is saying that, it means that it is just personal opinion, personal view of the writer, personal view of the poet, that he is saying that it is like subjective. Their eyes seem cold and devoid of real sentiment, and their eyes, so we are talking about the ways that were in that were in the past, and then not now here. Okay, so now we are going towards the next stanza, stanza number 2. Here, once again, he is telling about, there was a time indeed they used to shake hands with their hearts, but that's gone, son. Now they shake hands without hearts, and while their left hand search my empty pockets. अब यहाँ पे जो उसने लास्ट में 2 लाइंस मेंशन किए हैं, दे आर वेरी क्रिटिकल, दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट with respect to that. He is asking for the materialistic approach of the people. When somebody is hugging somebody, he is not embracing or hugging with just we should say that true feeling or sentiments are inward. He wants to hug him, but only he wants to search some materialistic pursuits, materialistic benefits from other person. He wants that materialistic uh, pursues, materialistic benefits, and he wants to fulfill them, that desires, that wishes. Otherwise he is not interested in meeting or hugging somebody with or he just gives the appearance that he is meeting somebody or he is visiting somebody with true heart, with true feeling, but actually he is not doing that. Next, we come towards the stanza number 3. Feel at home, come again, they say, and when I come again and feel at home once, twice, there will be no thrice, and then I find doors shut on me. That's very important, very interesting, and very critical attitude of modern man. कि मॉडर्न मैन को जब हम एक दफ़ा कोई शख्स किसी से मिलने जाता है तो उसको कहा जाता है कि फील एट होम. एट होम का मतलब होता है टू बी कंफर्टेबल होना, एडीएम भी है. कम अगेन, और वो फिर उसको कहते हैं कि दोबारा भी आओ. बट जब एक दफ़ा, दूसरी दफ़ा वो जाता है और तीसरी दफ़ा जाता है तो उस पर दरवाजे बंद कर दिए जाते हैं. मीन ही इज़ नो मोर वांटेड. एक्चुअली ही वाज सेइंग to come him again and again just for the sake of manners, just for the sake of formality. Actually he was not interested in visiting him, or he was not interested in meeting him once or twice. He said just out of formality, but the person came again and again. He thought that he was just a boring personality, he was just a burden on him, and he shuts the door on him the other time. So that's very important or critical points that the poet is discussing in stanza number 3. Then we come towards the poet's tone in this line is very harsh. अब आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं कि पोइट की जो टोन है वेरी हार्श है और क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं. क्रिटिसाइज का मतलब होता है कि एग्जैक्ट ट्रूली इन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड वर्ड्स, जो है आप एक पॉइंट जो आपको गलत लगता है उसके ऊपर आप क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड क्रिटिसिज्म. सो सोशल वैल्यूज एंड मैनर्स आर डिविंडलिंग, यानी पोइट का ये कहना है कि एक तरह से सोशल वैल्यूज और मैनर्स जो हैं वो क्या हो रहे हैं, खत्म होते जा रहे हैं day by day. He criticizes the way people behave with him nowadays. One treats him very politely and invites him to come, but actually though that politeness is meant for only formality. Actually वो politeness होती नहीं है, बस असल में वो politeness शो नहीं की जाती, बल्कि वो सिर्फ एक पर्पस के लिए होती है, एक मैनर्स शो करने के लिए, एटिकेट शो करने के लिए कि वो बहुत पोलाइट है, बट एक्चुअली इनसाइड वो पोलाइट होता नहीं है. तो होम एंड टू फील वेरी कॉजी, कॉजी मीन कंफर्टेबल, एंड इवन इनवाइट्स हिम टू कम अगेन, बट that goes once or twice, no more one dares to invite or ask him to come again. That seems very pathetic. Pathetic mean very, we should say that having pity for that thing. And none likes to keep durable relationship with others. All relations and ties are superficial and this modern materialistic world. तो यहाँ पे वंस अगेन वो कह रहा है सुपरफिशियल है. सुपरफिशियल का मतलब यही होता है कि दैट इज जस्ट सतही लेवल के ऊपर है, उसके अंदर ट्रू फीलिंग या ट्रू इमेजिनेशन मौजूद नहीं है. ट्रू इमेजिनेशन ऑफ फीलिंग वी कांट सपोज दैट. सो आई हैव लर्न मैनी थिंग्स ऑन इस स्टेंजा में वो वंस अगेन कह रहा है कि सो आई हैव लर्न many things and I have learned to wear many faces like dresses, home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their conforming smiles like a fixed portrait smile. Conforming का मतलब होता है in accordance with smile. अब वो ये बेसिकली इस स्टैंजा में ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि सो अब उसने एक तरह से तमाम फेसेस वेयर कर लिए हैं. मीन फेसेस का मुराद है कि वो अकॉर्डिंग टू द सिचुएशन बिहेव करता है. whenever he is at home he is behaving like a home person. Whenever he is in street he is behaving like a street boy, street person. Whenever he is a host he is behaving like a host. यानी इन ओरिजिनलिटी या ट्रू फीलिंग उसके अंदर नहीं होते. जब वो ऑफिस में होता है तो ऑफिस टाइप पर्सन के तौर पर वो बिहेव करता है, या जब वो कॉकटेल का मतलब है मिक्सचर फेसेस, यानी उसके पास जो भी पार्टी होती है, जो भी फीलिंग होती है, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली वो अपने आप को बिहेव करता है, अपना बिहेवियर शो करता है. सो दैट इज द very we should say that ample characteristic of modern age, where people are just working with formality and they are showing smile. You can look at the newscaster, you can look at the officer, you can look at so many people that are around us. They are just looking, they are smiling in a formal way, यानी उनके अंदर एक फॉर्मेलिटी पाई जाती है, फॉर्मल वे में स्माइल कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ट्रू फीलिंग या अफेक्शन या लव जो है वो शो नहीं करते, या एक्सप्रेशन ट्रू उनके नहीं होते. वंस अगेन स्टैंजा नंबर 5 में वो ये बता रहा है कि अब मैंने ये लर्न करना सीख लिया है कि मैं किस तरह से लाफ करूं अपने टीथ के साथ, किस तरह से हैंड शेक करूँ, किस तरह से गुड बाय कहूँ। और जब वो गुड बाय कहता है, एंड आई हैव लर्न टू लाफ विद ओनली टीथ and shake hands without my heart. I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance, to say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it has been nice talking to you after being bored. अब यहाँ पे वो कहता है कि उसने भी मॉडर्न मैन के जो मैनर्स हैं, एटिकेट्स हैं, वो अडॉप्ट कर लिए हैं, या उसने अपने आप को अडेप्ट कर लिया है अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट सिचुएशन। और अब जब कभी भी वो किसी से गुड बाय कहता है तो उसका मतलब होता है कि गुड बाय नहीं, बल्कि वो उससे जान छुड़ाना चाहता है। गुड रिडेंस मीन कि ही वांटेड टू गेट रिड ऑफ दैट पर्सन। और जब वो कहता है ही वांटेड टू से ग्लैड टू मीट यू, उसका मतलब ये होता है कि वो ग्लैड नहीं है, एक्चुअली ही वाज बोर्ड बाय हिज पर्सनालिटी, बाय हिज कंपनी। और जब वो कहता है कि इट हैज़ बीन नाइस टू यू टॉकिंग टू यू, तो इसका मतलब ये होता है कि वो नाइस नहीं था आफ्टर ही वाज बोर्ड। So these are the ironic, we should say that situations, ironic statement when you are saying one thing and you are meaning another thing. The poet has adapted himself according to the ways, adapt का मतलब होता है कि अपने आप को ढाल लेना, बदल लेना, and manner of the modern age. A superficial smile and heartless shaking of hands whenever he meets someone has been acquired by him. He has learned to say goodbye when actually he means to get rid of unpleasant company, and it's common to him to express pleasure to meet someone when he is not actually glad. That is just a modern formal way of meeting someone that is totally devoid of feeling. These are all ironic statement. Ironic इस सेंस में है कि वो एक चीज कह रहा होता है लेकिन उसका मीनिंग क्वाइट अपोजिट होता है। यानी वो कहता है कि इट इज ग्लैड बट एक्चुअली दैट वाज नॉट ग्लैड। और इसी तरह से जब वो कहता है कि गुड बाय इट डजंट मीन गुड बाय, तो ये एक आयरनिक स्टेटमेंट्स होते हैं। सो दीज आर ऑल आयरनिक स्टेटमेंट। परहैप्स इट इज द ट्रेडिशन टू से दैट इट हैज बीन नाइस टाइम्स विद समवन। यानी एक ट्रेडिशन या एक फॉर्मेलिटी बन चुकी है, या आप किसी के साथ नाइस टाइम गुजरा है या नहीं गुजरा, आपने उसको इसी तरह से कहना है। हैज मेट तो he has been having boring times with one. All these are the manners and formalities of the modern age. The poet has learned to be a part of the age. यानी वो एक तरह से उस एज का हिस्सा बन चुका है। बट बिलीव मी सन, आई वॉन्ट टू बी वट आई यूज टू बी व्हेन आई वाज लाइक यू। आई वॉन्ट टू लर्न ऑल दिस म्यूटिंग थिंग्स। मोस्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वॉन्ट टू रीलर्न हाउ टू laugh, for my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fang. अब वो कहता है कि वो दोबारा वो चीज़ों को अनलर्न करना चाहता है। यानी वो जो मॉडर्न एज के, प्रेजेंट एज के जो हिपोक्रेटिकल वेज हैं, मैनर्स हैं, उनको वो अनलर्न करना चाहता है। लेकिन उसके साथ साथ वो ये कहना चाह रहा है कि वो उन चीज़ों को दोबारा रीलर्न करना चाहता है जो कि एक्चुअल वे से, जो एक्चुअल सेंटिमेंट से, जो एक्चुअल एक्सप्रेशन थे, उनको दोबारा से रीलर्न करना चाहता है। यानी अब पोइट जो एक तरह से लेमेंट, या हम कह सकते हैं कि रेग्रेट कर रहा है अपने वेस के ऊपर कि ये अच्छा तरीका नहीं है, उसको ये अच्छा नहीं लगता। क्योंकि जब वो मिरर में उसके टीथ शो होते हैं तो वो उसको लाइक बेयर फैंग्स का मतलब होता है ओनली पॉइजनस टीथ के तौर पर, यानी जैसे स्नेक्स के पॉइजनस टीथ होते हैं उस तरह से शो होते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि वो एक हिपोक्रेसी शो कर रहे होते हैं। वो ये शो कर रहे होते हैं कि वो अपने ट्रू फीलिंग शो नहीं कर रहे। तो यानी ये एक डिसेप्शन हो सकती है। तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो उनको एक तरह से बेयर फैंग्स कह रहा है। तो द पोएट इन दिस लाइन्स एक्सप्रेसेस इन वर्ड, he reveals, he shows that he wishes to be what he was once. He doesn't like all that modern artificiality and hypocrisy. He wants to be like his son, that is purified of all the modern hypocritical and superficial ways. He wants to get rid of all these inarticulate habits and manners. He wants to pick up laughing in natural way, as his laugh in the mirror shows the teeth that are akin. Akin mean that are like to snakes, bear poisonous teeth. The poet conveys us the point that this artificiality and superficiality is dangerous for a society. A healthy and loving society cannot be established on such manners. ठीक है, healthy और living society जो है वो इस तरह से establish नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि वो deception है। deception जो है वो dangerous होती है हर मामले में। So show me son how to laugh, show me how I used to laugh and smile once upon a time when I was like you. अब वो दोबारा से उसको कह रहा है कि बच्चे को, अपने को, who is वेरी इनोसेंट, अपने सन को कह रहा है कि वो दोबारा उसको वही तरीके शो करे, वही तरीके सिखाए जो कि एक ट्रू फीलिंग्स से, इमोशंस को एक्सप्रेस करते थे। तो ये कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स हैं जिसमें वंस अपॉन अ टाइम का फ्रेज उसने वंस अगेन यूज किया, जो कि एम्फसाइज कर रहा है, स्ट्रेस कर रहा है उस पार्ट के ऊपर। इन दिस concluding lines, the poet advises his son to be free of all that artificiality and hypocrisy. He wishes to save him from all that materialistic ways of living. He urges him to laugh the way he himself used to when he had been a boy. He means he wanted his pure smile and real emotions to be expressed before others. He wants him to be expressive of the genuine sentiment all the way the poet himself used to be once when he was a boy. Right. Now we come towards the critical assessment. Critical assessment theme. इससे पहले थोड़ा सा हमें ये आइडिया होना चाहिए कि थीम क्या होता है और क्रिटिकल असेसमेंट क्या होती है, क्योंकि आपके लेवल के ऊपर जो क्वेश्चन आते हैं वो थीम से या क्रिटिकल असेसमेंट से रिलेटेड होते हैं। थीम का मतलब ये होता है कि जो चीज़ एग्जैक्ट पॉइंट के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ थीम, यानी जो चीज़ प्रेजेंट है, सेंट्रल आइडिया है, उसको आपने बताना है। अब क्रिटिकल असेसमेंट का मतलब ये होता है कि उसमें आपने साथ साथ कमेंट करना है। कमेंट करने का मतलब ये होता है कि आपने एक क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस देना है, आपने एक रिव्यू देना है, आपने बताना है कि आपको ये चीज़ें कैसी लगी हैं या आप इसको किस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखते हैं। यानी आप बताएंगे कि पोइम जो है वो थॉट प्रोवोकिंग है, पोइट पोइट जो है क्रिटिकल अप्रोच को कन्वे कर रहा है, पोइट की टोन कैसी है उसकी, या उसने कौन कौन से आइडियाज़ को कन्वे किया है, या एक सब्जेक्टिव पोइम है या ऑब्जेक्टिव पोइम है, या इस तरह के आइडियाज़ आपने बताने होते हैं, जो कि एक तरह से उसके ऊपर कमेंट्री होती है, कमेंट कर रहे होते हैं। जबकि आप अगर ओरिजिनल उसके थॉट्स जो फैक्ट्स होते हैं पोइम के अंदर, उनको अगर एक्सप्रेस करें तो वो उसका थीम बनता है। सो वी हैव हियर बोथ कंबाइंड टुगेदर, दोनों को हमने एक तरह से इकट्ठा किया हुआ है। आप इसको अकॉर्डिंगली मोल्ड कर सकते हैं खुद से। अगर थीम आए तो प्योर थीम लिखें, अगर क्रिटिकल असेसमेंट आए तो उसमें से आप कुछ अपने आइडियाज ऐड करके अपने तौर पे उसको असेसमेंट के तौर पर बना सकते हैं। या आप दोनों के लिए ये इकट्ठा भी लिख सकते हैं। इकट्ठा लिखने से मुराद ये है कि दोनों पार्ट्स इसमें कवर करने की कोशिश की गई है। So, this poem, Once Upon a Time, is a harsh and severe criticism on the modern man's superficial, artificial, materialistic, and hypocritical formal manner. ये यहाँ पर hypercritical लिखा गया है by mistake. It is not hyper, it is hypocritical. Formal manners are vivid. Vivid mean very clear, and trenchant mean जो कि बहुत sharp way में अपना clarity पेश कर रही है. Contrast of past and present is present. उसको प्रेजेंट किया गया, द वर्ड सिलेक्टेड और सिंपल एंड स्ट्राइकिंग। तो ये जो इस तरह के कमेंट्स हमारे सामने आ रहे हैं, ये असल में कमेंट्री है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हम थीम को भी चला रहे हैं। तो आप इसको अकॉर्डिंगली मोल्ड भी कर सकते हैं, या फिर आप दोनों के लिए एक ही लिख सकते हैं, दैट्स राइट। द वर्ड सिलेक्टेड आर सिंपल एंड स्ट्राइकिंग बट मूविंग एंड मोटिवेशनल। द पोएट कॉल्स अप का मतलब होता है याद करना, रिकॉल करना। The days when people used to laugh heartily and genuinely with true expression of sentiments. People once embraced each other with true love and desire to remain in touch with one another. The modern man wears many faces. He laughs superficially, talks superficially, and expresses himself superficially, where there are no feelings and true love, but only hypocrisy and materialism. The poet himself has adopted all the modern manners, but he longs for mean he wishes for, coming out of this entire grave and menacing situation. Grave का मतलब है serious, और menacing से मतलब है खतरे वाली, for modern society, जो कि modern society के लिए इस तरह से खतरनाक है. He wishes to be like his son, who is still devoid of all that hypocritical modernism. The last lines of the poem leave are remorseful mean जिसमें पछतावा हो, एंड रिड्रेसिंग यानी जिसमें आप करेक्शन करना चाहें, नोट अंडरलाइंग अ मॉरल मैसेज, और एक मॉरल मैसेज भी इसमें कन्वे किया गया है। सो वी आर गोइंग टू कंप्लीट इट राइट नाउ। आई थिंक आपने इसको बड़ी अच्छी तरह से क्लैरिटी के साथ अंडरस्टैंड कर लिया होगा। राइट नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू स्टॉप इट